It's named after William Jennings Bryan from the Scopes monkey trial. But tonight, a fire has seriously damaged the college in Dayton. Now investigators are trying to find out what caused it. Bradley County's jail is in jeopardy of losing its certification. It's so overcrowded, commissioners have to come up with some way to fix it. But one of the solutions could cause some serious controversy in the county.
Your news. First at 10. Fox 61 News start now.
Good evening, I'm Scotty Goodman. Thanks for joining us. We have some breaking news to tell you about. First on Fox tonight, firefighters are still on the scene after a blaze at Bryan College in Dayton. It started around 6 o'clock tonight in the main administrative building. Firefighters think it sparked on the 3rd floor near the chemistry lab. Crews from all over the Tennessee Valley are fighting the fire, but they're having a hard time getting it out because of water pressure problems. This student discovered the fire.
About 6 o'clock, 6:05, saw smoke coming out of the end of the building over here, and went up one of the stairwells to see if anybody was in there. Sprayed the fire extinguisher on the door, couldn't see anything because of all the fire. Went to the next stairwell, complete smoke, yelled, nobody was in there, so I left and went down. By that time, about 6:15 or so, the fire department had everyone called again, and smoke was already in the 2nd floor and couldn't get in the building at all.
The administration building is really the hub of campus, though, and that's where most of the classrooms as well as administrative offices are contained. Now, we were able to get most of the computer equipment, the administrative computer equipment, covered up so that it wouldn't be sustaining water damage, and that's on the lower floor, which would be removed from where you see the fire at this point.
There were a few people in the building, but they all got out safely. Although the college was able to get some of their computers out, they weren't able to save many of the desks, chairs, and other things in the classrooms. The college is estimating 70% to a total loss on the building, but they do have insurance. Administrators say there will be no classes tomorrow, but they will have a chapel service at 10 a.m. We'll have the latest information for you tomorrow morning on Fox 61 in the morning. The owner of the Monteagle Winery has been murdered. Coffee County Sheriff Steve Graves says they found the body of 74-year-old Joe Marlowe last night around 5:30 outside his home on Highway 41 near Hillsboro. He says someone shot Marlowe in the back of the head and the arm. Monroe County prosecutors aren't sure how they should handle a murder suspect in their county. The sheriff says an 8-year-old has confessed to stabbing his mother's boyfriend to death. It happened 1 week ago today near the town of Coker Creek. The sheriff says a 2nd grader told them his mother's 41-year-old boyfriend had been hitting her. Prosecutors are trying to decide whether to try the boy as a juvenile or as an adult. They say it will depend on whether the child has committed other violent acts. But neighbors describe the boy as sweet and intelligent. His mother has pled guilty to child neglect. The boy and his 11-year-old brother are now in foster care. There's new information tonight in the murder investigation against Baltimore Ravens All-Pro linebacker Ray Lewis. Atlanta police say Lewis had a receipt with him for the 2 knives they believe are the murder weapons. They say someone bought the knives at an Atlanta sporting goods store before last Sunday's Super Bowl. Lewis is charged with the stabbing deaths of 21-year-old Jacinth Baker and 24-year-old Richard Lawler. The 2 Decatur men died after someone stabbed them last Sunday night during a post-Super Bowl party brawl in Buckhead. Lewis's attorney says he never bought, had, or saw any knives, but says someone who was with Lewis could have. The pro linebacker is in the Atlanta Detention Center with no bond. Police spent this weekend in Baltimore questioning more witnesses. Thousands of mourners in Atlanta said goodbye to the giant gorilla Willie B yesterday. They had a public memorial service for him at the zoo. More than 8,000 people lined up to pay tribute to Willie B. The 41-year-old gorilla died in his sleep Wednesday of heart failure and pneumonia. The zoo cremated Willie B on Thursday. They plan to fly his ashes to Cameroon and scatter them over the jungle where he was born. The zoo also plans to have a life-size statue made of Willie B. Willie B was named after former Atlanta Mayor William B. Hartsfield. He spent 27 years in isolation with only a caretaker and a television for company. But in 1998, he was released into an outdoor habitat with other gorillas and finally became a father. A Chattanooga man is dead after a wreck this morning in Tittonia. Police say 64-year-old Jack Cresswell lost control of his truck around 12:45 this morning in the 400 block of Browns Ferry Road. They say Cresswell hit a ditch, flipped over, then was thrown from his truck, and the truck landed on him. Police say his grandson discovered him when he drove up a short time later. Police say Cresswell was not wearing his seatbelt. Bradley County is trying to tackle a problem that many communities across the country have, jail overcrowding. The jail is actually in jeopardy of losing its certification, but one of the solutions isn't settling well with residents. Fox 61's Darren Moore joins us live from the newsroom with the story. Darren.
Scotty, Bradley County commissioners will meet tomorrow night to talk about ways to ease the overpopulation problem. One alternative to house nonviolent inmates in the National Guard Armory, but one community isn't excited about that at all because they're getting new neighbors. Christy Lupo is the mother of 2 small children. She lives in the Waterville section of Bradley County, and she isn't happy that nonviolent inmates could be serving time just down the road from her home.
I don't think that's a very good idea. We have children in this neighborhood and all around, and they belong in jail, not here, close to my kids in my home.
The National Guard Armory is where county commissioners are concerned
to just work through this.
Students say the fire happened around dinner time, so many of them were in the cafeteria.
I came out and I thought it was a fight or something, which would have been uncommon here, but I saw a bunch of people standing on the ridge, and I walk up and see all the smoke coming out of the top floor of the ad building, and it was just, I don't know, amazing. Couldn't imagine it happening.
But it has. As everyone stares in disbelief, there is one thing they are thankful for.
I'm glad nobody's hurt. Nobody's in there. It could have been a lot worse than it is.
You know, my heart goes out to the faculty who are losing immense amounts of research right now. We have natural history specimens from all over the world that our alumni have sent. And I'm thinking, you know, Dr. Henning spent his career here, 20, 30 years, collecting and preserving these things. And yeah, God's in control even of that.
I am now joined live with the president of Bryan College, Dr. Bill Brown. Doctor, what is this administration building used for? We've talked a little bit about it, but what exactly is behind these walls?
Well, the administration building used to be the entire college years ago. It was built by students beginning back in 1935. Took about 20 years to complete, and at one time housed everything: library, dorms, classrooms. Now it's mainly our offices and classroom space. So it had several computer labs and a museum and so on, all of which is on the 3rd floor and is now lost.
A lot of people have said there's history here. There's a lot of...
Investigators say 65-year-old Jack Creswell lost control of his car in the 400 block of Browns Ferry. It happened just after midnight. The car hit a culvert and overturned. It threw Creswell out. This is Hamilton County's 2nd traffic death of the year.
Rekindled after hours of work by firefighters to contain the blaze that has torn apart years of history. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. Headlining our news, folks shaking their heads in disbelief, watching a piece of history go up in flames right before their eyes. The administration building on the campus of Bryan College in Dayton, Tennessee, caught fire around 6 o'clock tonight. The historic college school is located on Mercer Drive, and that's where Michael Baldwin has been all night with details on tonight's Lost Legacy.
Multiple fire departments battle the blaze, which seemed to never end. The 3rd floor of Bryan College in Dayton appears to be gone. The fire started around 6 o'clock, and many students had just left the library, which closed an hour earlier.
We looked around, we didn't see anything, but on my way back in, I happened to look at the admin building, and there was smoke coming out from the top. And one of the girls from our dorm called 911, and then glass started breaking, and smoke started coming out everywhere.
Somebody came in and got our RD's husband, and he ran into the building, which we were scared for him, and was trying to get everyone out.
At one point, the blaze seemed under control as firefighters contained it to the 3rd floor. Then, without warning, it attacked again. Some students attended the school because their parents went here. Now, they must find the words to explain what has happened.
It's really interesting being here when the building goes up in flames. This building's been standing since they were here, as far as I know. And
You said Michael Baldwin has been at the college since early tonight. Let's check in with him right now and see what the latest is. Michael, I understand there was a press conference a little while ago. What's the latest, sir?
Well, Mike, what happened was the president of the university, of the college, I should say, said that they're going to have students meet around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they're going to brief them on what has happened here and tell them what's going on, when they're going to reschedule class again. Right now, classes are canceled for tomorrow. There have been several colleges that have called up the Bryan College and offered to have classes over where they are. Mike, right now let's take a look at some live pictures over to my left here. You can actually see the firefighters still battling the blaze. They've been battling this blaze pretty much since 6 o'clock this evening, and it's just a fire that just won't quit. Many of the firefighters are tired. They're literally taking breaks in shifts, still trying to battle the blaze. It started, again, on the 3rd floor from the north side of the building, and then it jumped the firewall and ended here on the south side of the building. And the firefighters at this point in time do not have any idea what started the blaze, and they say they're going to stay here pretty much all night long and try to find out what's going on here. Also, Mike, we also want to mention that there's about 400 students that live on campus here. They were evacuated from their dormitories because the firefighters say they were concerned about smoke inhalation, but they have since been let back in about 45 minutes ago. And that's pretty much all we have now at this point in time, Mike. We're live in Dayton. Michael Walter, News Channel 9.
All right, Michael, we should also point out that mutual aid from many surrounding counties and fire departments came to aid tonight in this battle. Correct, sir?
Absolutely, Mike. There were about 6 to 8 different fire departments that came out of here. They have a mutual agreement called the Tri-State Mutual Agreement, Mike.
All right, very good, Michael. We know you're going to stay up there and continue to monitor it. Thank you for your help there, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, this is not the first time that fire has ripped through a local college. 7 years ago, fire destroyed parts of Lee College in Cleveland, Tennessee. It was determined that arsonists set fire at Ellis Hall, destroying the dormitory and injuring several students who leaped from the flames. Since the fire, Lee College never...
But we can come together as a community. And
throughout the day, students came to see for themselves what happened here last night and to offer one another support.
Well, hopefully something will come out of this, and we're just hoping it's going to be something good, something really exciting, but it's devastating right now.
The fire destroyed the top floor of the administration building, including most of the college's classrooms, faculty offices, and a natural science museum. College officials also fear the fire damaged or destroyed priceless documents from the Scopes monkey trial, which were kept on the first floor.
So it just depends how the water has come down there. We know we've lost some really valuable books in the library, like William James Bryan's copy Origin of Species.
Late this afternoon, state investigators began looking for clues. Meanwhile, the local fire chief responded to reports that there was not enough water pressure last night to fight the fire.
But the pressure was adequate.
The pressure was adequate, right. It's just you had a large fire, you had 3-alarm fire, you had so many apparatuses and hose lines set up that the volume, that's where we were hurting.
And the president of the college says he's also hurting, but not defeated by the fire.
Then we're just going to proceed and get this thing cleaned up and rebuilt and carry on.
Now, classes today here were canceled, but the school hopes to have them back in session tomorrow in different buildings here at the college. Also, Chattanooga State and several local churches have volunteered to let students use their facilities. Now, as for the investigators, they hope to have everything wrapped up by Wednesday, but they got a late start today because there was some mercury found in one of the upper rooms, and until that mercury was cleaned up, they couldn't actually get into the building. Reporting live from Dayton, Mark Dickinson, News Channel 9. Mary Ellen?
All right, thank you, Mark. Big loss in many ways, especially emotionally. Coming up
the latest. Amy, tell us what happened.
Well, Bob, the latest we have is, as you said, one person is dead. The friends of the victim say he is a white male in his mid-20s, and they say he lives in this white house here just beyond where this group of people have gathered. And friends of the suspect say he lives in this gray house here just behind me, just a short distance away. Family of the victim arrived a short time after the shooting, screaming and yelling, saying their brother didn't deserve to die over a radio. Chattanooga police say they don't yet know the motive behind the shooting. They say when they arrived, they saw 2 African-American males running from the scene. Police picked up one and are still searching for a second suspect. That has neighbors uneasy.
It's senseless. It's bad. And especially all the threats going on down there now. That makes you kind of uneasy.
Yeah. They've got one suspect in custody, but they're still looking for a second.
Well, we hope it.
Now, police describe that second suspect as an African-American male. He was last seen on foot in this area wearing a Tennessee Titans jersey. And, of course, we will continue to follow this and have the very latest for you on News Channel 9 at 5:30 and 6. Reporting live from the East Lake area, I'm Amy Clark, News Channel 9. Bob?
All right, thanks, Amy. And by the way, this is Chattanooga's second homicide of the year.